Many of us in the community have talked about where we would like to see The Last of Us Part 3 go. From the ending of The Last of Us Part 2 to The Last of Us Part 3, where do we want the story to go? And there's a ton of different directions that Naughty Dog could choose to go here in the third entry in this franchise. So I want to talk to you guys about some of the thoughts that I'm having in my mind, and I've talked about this a number of times on the YouTube channel, but I thought like we could really dive in this, in this segment of the show about really where we would like the story to go and what could be interesting. I think there's a number of ways and a number of different places that Naughty Dog could go with this third entry in the franchise. So for me, guys, I believe that when we talk about The Last of Us Part 3, we got to talk about the second game and kind of what transpired. That being, of course, at the end of the game, Ellie goes to the farmhouse and goes upstairs. She plays the guitar, really can't play it though because of her two missing fingers, and then she leaves the guitar next to the windowsill and she, leaves the house. Now, one of the theories is, guys, is that she actually is already reunited with Dina in JJ over in Jackson. And, now she's heading back to the farmhouse just to get the rest of her stuff. But part of me wonders if that's actually what's happening here. All in all, though, guys, when we break down what we thought of that last sequence, regardless of whether she's, been reunited with JJ and Dina, my thought is this. She leaves that guitar propped up at the windowsill. She doesn't put it back in the guitar case. That tells me that chapter of her life is not done yet. She's not putting it away yet. She's leaving it out so that she has other things that she's got to get done. And where that goes is going to be very interesting in this third game. My thought is this, guys. I feel that the third game is a perfect time, especially if it's going to be the last game in the franchise. But even if it's not, I think a great way for them to go is the origins of the infection, moving into The Last of Us Part 3. Figuring out what was it? What started the infection in the first place? Was it, man-made, like from, if you think of Resident Evil and, obviously the Umbrella Corporation and how they're, releasing these, this virus into the world? Or so is it like a corporation similar to that in The Last of Us? Or is it like Mother Earth? Something happened where, this virus just ended up spreading, very rapidly, whatever it might be, like, we're not treating Mother Earth well enough or something. Who knows what it could be, right, guys? But I think that at the end of the day, it'd be very interesting to see the origins of the infection, where this whole thing, I think Ellie figuring out, the origins. Is she the only one out there in the entire world that is immune to the infection? Are there others? Is she going to, kind of, give her own life so that they can create a vaccine and things of that nature? There's so many different narratives that they could go down here. I feel like, Ellie very well may, who knows? I mean, at the end of the game, she may decide that, look, I'm leaving this guitar case open because, you know what? I can't get over the fact that, I let Abby go and I'm going to go back after her again, which I don't think is going to happen. But, that's always a possibility that she's going to go try to end it once and for all. But I do think that she's going to try to figure out what the origins here, where this whole thing started and how we can stop it. And so that'll be a very interesting, concept, in my opinion, moving into The Last of Us Part 3. Could we play as Ellie as well as Abby once again? I think that's very possible as well. One thing I'd like to see is more environments throughout the course of The Last of Us Part 3. It'd be really nice to kind of get that feel from like The Last of Us Part 1, where you're going all the way across the country. It'd be kind of nice to do that once again. We've done it both ways. We did it in one location pretty much, that being Seattle here in The Last of Us Part 2. And then we kind of, in The Last of Us Part 1, went all the way across the country essentially. And so I kind of like both concepts, and I'd like to see some new places, like she has to go to other places throughout the course of The Last of Us Part 3. I think that could be really interesting moving into the third title. There's just a number of ways, guys, and a number of different places that they could take this story, that being Naughty Dog. I'm sure they already have a vision. They already have a thought in their mind of where they're going with the story. But that's really what I'd like to see. I want to see what the origins are here. I would like to at least start kind of going on that journey, figuring out where the origins are, and things happen along the way, just like any story in The Last of Us. Different things happen that might take you off, your path or whatever. Even if it's like it takes 2 games to get to the ending or something, even if it, say, in The Last of Us Part 3 is when we start our journey to figure out what started the infection, and we don't come to a conclusion until the 4th game or something, because there's so much that's happening within The Last of Us Part 3. Whatever it is, because there's going to be a lot of obstacles that are set in Ellie's path or in Abby's path or whoever's path we're talking about. There are going to be issues throughout the course of the journey. And so I just think, guys, that the origins of the infection is really where they should go in The Last of Us Part 3. I mean, they could do so many other things, but that's where I want them and I want to see the story go, in my personal opinion. But with that being said, guys, I'd love to hear from all of you. Where do you want them to take The Last of Us Part 3? Do you want to see the origins of the infection? Do you want to see something else entirely? Let me know in the comment section down below, and let's have a real conversation about it.